So now, looking ahead, what do we have on store here? A matchup with Michigan in Atlanta, State Farm Arena. And yeah, it's cool enough. Michigan's a big name. In college basketball, they have been a big name, hit to and fro from time to time. But we're talking about Michigan, who has not one, but two pretty direct ties to Auburn. Trey Donaldson, your former point guard, and I would argue, I think we were all a little shocked he left this year. He is now lighting it up for Michigan, and we will have to play against him. So former teammates will see each other. That's the first connection, and we'll talk about the second one. What's it feel like to you to see Trey once again?
Yeah, it's huge. I think I saw a video when because the game finished during Auburn's game and CBM was notified. He was like, "Oh, it's Michigan." So we get to play Trey, but it wasn't like "Oh yeah, we get to play Trey." It was they're excited. I think very similar to when they got to see Aiden the first time, right? And we played in Tuscaloosa. I think that fans can blow those kind of relationships out of proportion more than they actually are, just because these guys spend way more time with each other. On and off the court when they're on the same team. So I think that there's a general excitement to get to see each other. Obviously, they're competitors just as much as they are friends, and each guy wants to beat the other. So it'll be really interesting. Trey obviously knows a lot about Auburn and a lot about how Bruce Pearl coaches. But this is still a different team than he was a part of, right? So there's different things. Him and Denver will be a very, very fun matchup to watch and very fascinating to see. And so, yeah, there is a lot to dissect about what this could look like. For me, I'm more interested in that second connection, truthfully.
And why is that? Because I think we all recognize you honor these great players that no matter what regime they're part of or whatever, that sometimes they stand alone in their legendary status, but what they sometimes mean in the harder times is more important. And we're talking about KT Harrell, who is part of the staff of Michigan, came over with Coach Baker, I believe is his last name.
Dusty May.
Dusty May. Why did I say Dusty Baker, the baseball coach? Dusty May, who came from FAU to take over Michigan, and he's still part of the staff over there. So we will not be playing him physically, but he will be assisting, and in some capacity, he'll be connected to that. So that's a big one because KT was here for the first year of Bruce, and he kind of got to help transition from a very dark time with He Who Shall Not Be Named and bringing us to where we are now. So it's kind of poetic and it's kind of special, I think. Is that too?
No, I think
I don't know, whatever.
Yeah, and I think it makes perfect sense. I remember KT we all do, for his shot against LSU in the SEC tournament the first year when we were dreadful, went on a run. But he was the guy the hometown guy who came back to Auburn and like you said, got to make that transition from He Who Should Not Be Named to Bruce Pearl, and now look how far it's gone. So, for those of us that have grown up loving Auburn or alums, whatever, KT, I have a feeling, I would be shocked if does not feel the same way of looking at following Auburn from afar and be like, I cannot believe that is the basketball program. That's so cool. I'm happy for those guys. But now it is his job to be against those guys, right? And KT's director of basketball operations at Michigan. He was at FAU with Dusty May. And I think we even talked about when he made the move to Michigan as probably potpourri at some point. But obviously very excited for him and happy for him to continue elevating that coaching career. But I think he will be pretty involved with helping Michigan develop their game plan. He's further removed from Trey than the program just by age. But I think that as integral as he was that first year and being the guy for Bruce Pearl, he knows quite a bit about what he likes to do. And I think him merging with Trey will cause Auburn some fits. They'll be confident. Now, look, the flip side of this is that Auburn, Bruce Pearl, Stephen Pearl, Mike Burgomaster, Chad Pruitt, all those guys know all that as well. Like they all know how they play. But there will be new wrinkles for Auburn to make sure that everything is kind of even. So that first half's going to be really interesting to me. I think there will be a lot of feeling each other out and seeing, hey, do you still do this? Hey, are you still like this? And how the games are played. But storylines abound. It's going to be a fun one. I'm very glad it's in Atlanta. That's like the overarching theme, I feel.
Yeah, and we're not even having time to talk about their 2 7-footers, one of them being one of the guys that gave us trouble with, let me say it for you, Bama fans, Yale last year. And by the way, y'all need to slow down on the Yale talk after almost dropping on letting Robert Morris walk on you for a little bit. Anyway, not for a little bit, for most of the game, to be honest with you. There's a lot of storylines in Auburn versus Michigan. I'm very excited to see Trey again, and I hope that we get a lot of the warm fuzzies and all that with some pre-game videos and them getting to reunite in the sense.
Yes.
So when game time starts, buddy, I hope that we're not seeing that hair bounce up and down, in a good manner, in a frustrated manner for you.
No kidding.
Taking shots. But obviously, we love Trey. He used to listen to the show. He came up and told me that once personally. And so we're hoping that he has success outside of this game.